What's up, everybody? I wanted to talk about something that is no secret to any FC player, and it hasn't been for years, right? The server lag or the delayed, whatever you want to call it. But there is no official name for it because there has never been an official explanation, right? You hear about it all the way up the ladder. Pre-patch, it got bad enough to where there was a few particular pro events where even the pros who had largely been quiet about it had spoke up, made posts about it. This past Pro Championship, FC Pro Championship, right, after the patch, Anders Vergang talks about it in his vlog at the final, right? Even at a LAN event where, EA Sports is closely observing, they're hosting a LAN event, and he talks distinctly about how, the lag delay absolutely affects results. He was saying something about, I should win easily, but you never know because of the delay. If it's like how it was in practice, it will be, who knows? The best player won't win. So this is clearly known by EA Sports, and even if things like that weren't out there, we know that they, with all of the complaints, all of the players talking about it, all of the streams, all the video evidence, right? EA Sports absolutely knows. I did a video on Boris Legend's previous FUT Champs, right? He always posts his videos, and I had a rough one and was able to prevail last weekend. This weekend was definitely a little bit rougher to the point where it wasn't even playable, right? Now, I explained this in one of the streams, but basically you have a couple different types of lag or delay. You have the one where it's drop frames, which was going on during a stream last night for me, where you can literally see it on screen, the game sort of freezing up. And in those cases, the players literally just start having a mind of their own, almost like they glitch out. All of a sudden your striker's running way the other way. On top of that, you also have delay, and it's just a total mess. Then you have the situation where it's just input delay, right? You go to press shoot, pass, dribble, whatever it is, and you're literally behind to the point where you could have an open shot, and because of the delay, the defender catches up in a situation where he never should have. If you didn't know any better, if you're just watching and don't hear the players saying there's delay, or don't know the situation, you would think the player literally was selling, could shoot and get a goal but decided not to. That's what it looks like. Same on defense. You would think sometimes the defender could make a tackle and just decides, I'm going to let him shoot and score. It's ridiculous. Now, when there's drop frames and the players are glitching out, you can see things like passes and shots and stuff, dribbling right through a player, which clearly that's not right. Now, the input delay part, that's harder to tell because it's such a fast-moving game that if you don't, like I said, know what's going on, you might not even see it. You might not even realize it. But anybody who's played the game knows exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's a harder thing to show and more of a thing where you have to be a player, which most all of you, if not all of you watching these videos, are players, so you know what I'm talking about. Now, why I wanted to do this is because there needs to be an explanation. I feel like we're getting to the point where there was pressure on EA Sports all the way around. Their game was terrible. Everyone was upset with it. And then they came out with the patch, and everyone was talking about how much better the game got gameplay-wise, which is great. But I think it let them off the hook because it was getting to the point where players were demanding answers for everything and finally willing to step away from football altogether. Because now we have, UFL on top of, we've always had eFootball, and they just didn't care. However, it obviously got to the point where they finally, for whatever reason, whether it was losing players, seeing that they're potentially going to lose money on, FC 26, whatever it was, they finally made this huge change, but still nothing about the servers. Now, my personal experience, once I came back after taking a hiatus before the patch, once I came back, the server lag was much better. Now, that's not an official term, that's just what I call it. I know some others call it that or whatever, delay, whatever it is. It was not nearly as bad until last weekend, and then it ramped up several notches this weekend. Now, the gameplay I'm showing you, some of it is good, but there are several situations where it is terrible. That doesn't mean that my opponent isn't lagging too, right? That doesn't mean that like when I'm scoring these goals, even though they look like regular FC goals, it doesn't mean that I wasn't struggling hardcore. It just means that the opponent was either A, lagging more than me, or B, his skill just didn't, change the fact that I could still lag and beat him, right? But it doesn't mean that it made the experience fun or enjoyable, because the whole point is competing, right? And when you have server lag and the game's glitching out like it does, it makes it hard to play. Now, the biggest thing is this. On top of all this, just like in anything else, right? I'll use UFL as an example. Right now, they have an absolutely broken defense, similar to how FC was before the patch, where they're defending with like 8 defenders in the box, sitting back, getting 20 shots against them. Maybe the opponent will get one counterattacking shot and score and win, and they're able to pass the ball around the back, right, and keep it for the rest of the game. You having all that stuff right now. So rats are going to find a way, and they absolutely do with this lag, with the delay too. It is very clear to see if you are used to having it yourself when an opponent has it, right? Because, like I said, it looks like the player's just choosing not to shoot when they should, or choosing not to pass, right? They win a tackle defensively and have an open pass to get out of pressure, and it almost looks like they're just letting you win the ball back. So it's very easy to tell. So what a rat will do is they'll notice this, and all of a sudden they forget about any positioning. They just send every player at you full throttle, right? Knowing that you're lagging, and knowing that even if they lose the ball, bad passes, bad dribbling, they can get it right back many times in a better position, right? And so that's exactly what they do. They run straight at you, make terrible passes, dribbling at you, make terrible runs, and just keep running at you, even when your defender wins the ball. Many times they get it back, and boom, they end up scoring goals. Then defensively, it's the same thing. If you work the ball up, they're just coming at you so fast. Even if you come close to getting a shot, before the shot can get off, many times they're going to be able to block it. It makes it near impossible, no matter how much more skilled you are. Now, you can battle some of these opponents and win, but other ones have just enough ability, right, to where with the lag advantage, they are going to make it to where you can't win. It's just the bottom line. All they have to do is just throw caution to the wind and come at you as fast as they can, and more times than not, way too many going against you to be successful with, the opponent is going to put too much pressure on to where you can't overturn that delay. No matter how fast you try to move the ball, no matter how smart you try to play, even if you're dribbling, right? The little cuts, the little movements, there's delay in those. It's just very hard to see if you don't, for me to show you guys. So right now, I'll give you a little bit of an example. Look at my player switching here. Over and over, I'm going to show you. I switched right here way earlier. Like, I'm talking a second. So let's go watch that again and really pay attention to that player switch. Now, this has been happening throughout the game, but because I'm beating the opponent and because it's hard to see, you probably didn't notice. Look, this is where I'd want to switch and get goal side of him, right? But look when it finally goes through. Here. Now, imagine that same thing with that much delay, but for every single play. It makes a huge difference. Imagine that kind of delay, right? What you're seeing right in the background. But it goes off right as you're about to shoot. And then, boom, you get that delay. Right when you're about to make a tackle, and then, boom, you get that delay. Right when you win the ball with the defender, and the attackers are still pressuring you, and you go to make a pass, and then you get that delay, right? Every single one of these is going to hurt you to the point where you legit can't win certain games. Now, like I said, in this game, in some other games, you're going to have enough skill to override it, but many times you're not. Then, like I said, you're always going to have your rats that literally look for these types of things. Now, I have no proof and have no idea if they can make this happen. We are talking about it on stream. There's absolutely cases in both FC in the past as well as other games where players absolutely created their own lag, right? But I can't say that's the case now. I absolutely know for a fact, though, that there are players that can see when the other player is lagging and absolutely do utilize it as a skill. Meaning, like I said, no more does it matter about positioning, right? Or line depth or anything like that, or having good passes or making good decisions. All that matters is getting to the opposition as quick as you can to just go and dive in, knowing they're delayed, and then you can steal the ball and run through. There's absolutely no skill in that whatsoever. But the biggest reason I wanted to slow just that one part down is because I could show you this stuff till the sun comes up, and 99.9% of it, you're not just going to be able to see, right? It's going to be that you know it because you play the game, right? If you have never played the game and I'm talking about this and showing you examples, I'm just hoping that one slowdown, period for the small number of players who don't play FC and don't know what I'm talking about, that can at least show you proof. But for everybody else, it's just going to have to be one of those things where you've either experienced it or haven't. I know a ton of players have, and out of anybody who watches this, please let me know in the comments below. Is there any knowledge that we have of this issue that I'm not aware of? Any information that might have been given in some type of Reddit reply or under some ticket that was open on EA's website that I just didn't know about? Because I would really love to know how they're able to charge players every year for this game and then have such a difference-making glitch, if you will, or problem in their game, which to me it seems like it has no rhyme or reason. Like, one game it will be good, the next it will be bad. One half sometimes it will be good, the next half it will be bad, right? Sometimes it's weeks at a time where you get great gameplay then bad gameplay. I mean, the biggest content creators have talked about it. Inception, talking about the inconsistent gameplay and how you can only play it certain times a day. Just this past weekend with Boris Legend, talking about how bad the delay is, and it was a nightmare experience. You could see how frustrating it was. Of course it will be, right? Anders Vergang talking about it not only at this most recent FC Pro Open Championship, right, where he talks about the delay mattering and changing results, and that's for $100,000 tournament, right? He also did it at a different tournament where he was referring to being the away team, and I can't remember the exact details, but it absolutely was delayed. There's another player that said it too, where the home team was just dominating because of the lag or whatever. It's a widespread issue that many players have brought up, all the way up to the top player in the world, and we still don't have any sort of educated answer or any sort of answer, as far as I know, from EA Sports, and that's crazy to me because that makes a difference for many players if they want to truly put money into the game, for one, truly put the time to get better at a game where at any given time they could go compete and just totally lose, whether they have the skill to beat their opponent or not, right? That changes whether you're going to, play the game, whether you're going to play it at a certain level, whether you're going to spend money to improve your team like many players do, right? So I feel like it's crazy that EA Sports gets away with no explanation. So if there's any knowledge of something that's out there that I don't know about, any explanation of what this truly is and why it's so inconsistent, I'd love to hear about it. And not only that, but how about these rats that take advantage of it? To me, it's the biggest waste of time, but I guess that's any rat, right? They aren't skilled enough to be good at the game. They have to win with these little glitches, but the players that you see just throwing caution to the wind, going after the ball, knowing that you're not going to be able to make a pass quick enough to make them pay for, not having any type of positioning or organization, knowing that they can just kick a ball right at you or dribble into you and it will actually help them because they can do a tackle back and you're not going to be able to play the ball fast enough, right? Are these players creating lag in some situations, or is that just taking advantage of lag? I'd really like to know that too. There's no doubt they take advantage of it, right? But are they able to purposely create it because it helps them out so much, or no? Please let me know in the comments. If not, please let me know what you think about this, if it changes or is a factor in if you will play the game going forward, or if this is a reason why maybe you quit the game, right? Because for me, it takes a game that I'm really enjoying. I've said it time and time again after the patch, I've enjoyed it. It takes all of that enjoyment away. So I really just want to hear some of your thoughts. And other than that, keep grinding, keep having fun, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.